Hi, sorry I'm late. Got caught up in traffic.
It's okay. Good evening. How are you today?
Great, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. So my name is Raina Miranda, and I have been asked to be your mediator today. Was finding the place okay?
Yes, thank you.
How's the weather? Good? Cold, I know.
Actually, it's not too bad for November.
Alright.
No complaints.
Okay, so just a little bit about me before we begin. I work for R&H Law Firm and have been there for 5 years. I received my undergraduate at North Central College in political science and then went on to receive my law degree at NYU. Is there anything else you need to know about me before we begin?
Nope, thank you.
Alright. Is there a way each of you would like to be addressed? Full name or first name?
First name's fine.
Okay, so Ricardo and Grace?
Yes.
Alright. I would like to recognize and congratulate you both for coming here today to talk and to explore development of your own agreements on the concerns and issues that may have been hard to discuss in the past. It is a positive indication on your part that you want to jointly take responsibility for making your own decisions. I realize that for each of you, meeting here might not necessarily be the most comfortable thing in the world, and that you may have strong feelings about the situation. It is okay to have these feelings. I will try to facilitate the discussions that will enable you to talk effectively both about your concerns and feelings as you find appropriate. There may be times when you want to explain the impact that past attitudes, behaviors, or actions have had on you and feelings related to the situation. I want to let you know that this is okay. The only suggestion I have is that you carefully consider what you want to say, focus on what you are really concerned about, and try to say it in a way that does not intentionally harm the other person or damage the relationship. During this meeting, you will be talking together and searching for or developing solutions that will satisfy each of your individual and potentially common goals, needs, and interests. My role as a mediator will be to assist you to identify issues or topics you want to talk about and help clarify each of your needs and interests that you want to be considered and ideally met. Also, I propose to help you to develop a productive process to discuss what you want to talk about, which will enable you to reach your individual and joint goals. I'll try to keep you focused and help you define a new relationship that each of you will find both more comfortable and acceptable. If you reach an agreement, we or I will write it down in the form of a memorandum of understanding. Example 2.
Okay.
I do not have any authority to try to make decisions for you regarding how you should resolve your issues. In general, I will try to stay out of your discussions of specific solutions and will not provide an opinion or make any specific recommendation on what you should do. Decision making is up to you. If on occasion I have ideas or options that you might want to consider, I may raise them, but they are just that, options for you to consider and not my recommendations or my decisions. During the mediation, I will also be impartial toward the issues that you choose to discuss and the outcomes that you will reach. I do not have any preconceived biases toward any one solution toward any potential solutions over others. In simple words, I am a neutral third party. It is also important to emphasize that mediation is a voluntary process which each of you has freely chosen to participate in. If at any time you believe that it is not working out for you and it is not likely to result in an acceptable understanding or agreement, I request that we talk about it first and see how the process can be changed to better address your needs. If it is not possible to do so, you are free to end your participation in mediation. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. At this time, I would briefly like to describe the process. Our talks will begin with a brief description from each of you about the situation. I request that you each listen to each other and hold your comments or questions until the other person has finished talking. During this time, I may ask some clarifying questions. It is not to put you on the spot, it is just so that I can gain a better understanding of the situation. Once you have both finished speaking, we will summarize the topics and issues and develop an agenda. Once we are clear on your needs and interests, we will search for develop some options or potential solutions. At some point in your talks, there may be a need for each of you to take time out from our meeting together and to reflect on what we have been talking about or to meet with me privately. This is called the caucus, and it gives you an opportunity to gather needed information, handle any feelings that may have been developed, and consider short-term and long-term goals and interests. What is discussed in these separate meetings will be considered by me to be confidential. I will not reveal what I have talked about with each of you unless you allow me to do so. Do you have any other questions?
No, it seems pretty straightforward and what you signed up for.
Okay. So some general guidelines that I like to put forth in my mediations are that you are to be respectful, there will be no insults, no profanity, and no interrupting one another. Are there any other guidelines you would like to add?
Nope, that's pretty much it, I think.
Okay.
We're good.
So are we ready to begin?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well then, Grace, since you brought the case forward, I will start with you. You may give your opening statement and just explain the situation, how you see it.
Well, Mrs. Miranda, I pretty much came here because I am tired of having all these holiday parties at my home. So there's a bunch of issues. I don't know if you want me to discuss each of those issues.
Yes, just however you see the situation.
Okay. Well, basically, I work long hours and I come home after long hours working during the week and stuff. And then my husband and family expects me to entertain them. So I'm really exhausted. The cleaning is left up to me, and I have to help coordinate the menu without the help of Mr. Herrera here. And along with the grocery shopping, on the day of the event, I get a little bit upset because, of course, Mr. Herrera gets to sleep in. And also on the day of the event, I have to get all the 4 kids ready and get them bathed, their hair done, get them all dressed, and fight about what tights or shoes they get to wear. While Mr. Herrera finally wakes up and gets ready in like 5 minutes and watches TV. During the party, he runs downstairs and enjoy guests and have fun, while upstairs I am here trying to entertain all the remaining guests along with the kids. That eventually the kids just kind of start running around like a mad case and leave a mess and start playing hide and seek, throw out all the stuff out of the closets, and nobody tells them anything, along with leaving lovely cake crumbs between the couches. And then to top it off, the parties don't typically finish at a certain time. All the guests end up staying overnight, and it becomes a bed and breakfast where at the very next morning I'm also cooking breakfast and then cleaning up again, or actually finishing up cleaning up the mess from last night's party and continuing on to clean up the next day's party. So I really believe, we should have like a more relaxing environment for me, but I feel like I'm being taken advantage of.
All right, just give me one moment. So, what I'm hearing you say is you feel overwhelmed with having to work and plan all these holiday parties. You feel that no one else seems to allocate as much time or resources to the parties as you do, and that the parties are an upheaval to the home, and there's no careful watching of the kids in the house, and that the holidays should be relaxing, and that the parties are extended for longer than necessary.
Correct.
Is that all correct?
Yes.
Is there anything I left out or you would like to add?
Mr. Herrera is not helping.
Okay, so I think we can lump that into other people giving proper time and resources to planning and organizing the party.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Ricardo, you may now speak.
Yes. So, I get all that, right? For some reason, you just haven't been able to come eye to eye, so just want to say we appreciate you taking the time to help us resolve this, because it's gotten out of control. We've always had parties at our house, right? It's become almost like a tradition. I come from a larger family, and we've just always got together and enjoyed the holidays. It was like that in the beginning, so I really don't understand what the big deal is now, and now all of a sudden she's, putting up a fight. Like I said, it's become kind of like tradition, and, we have the room here, we have the biggest house, so of course naturally everybody always wants to come over to our house, and, because we're more comfortable and, we can accommodate everyone. My nieces and nephews, they get out of hand sometimes, but, kids will be kids. They're always gonna, be a little messy. It's not like, all of a sudden we got a chunk bitten out of the wall or something that, so, do they get a little out of hand? Sure, every once in a while, I get it, but, it's, I think, manageable, not to the point where it's, they're chaotic or anything. And as far as me helping, obviously I have to play host, it's my family, so I have to attend to them. If she would just make up her mind sometimes on what she wanted to do for dinner, or, what we wanted to do for the party, or how we wanted to decorate, maybe we can get the stuff earlier and just get it knocked out. And then I'm not trying to run around last minute, and, she's trying to boss me around when everybody's here to go get whatever ingredient, she's missing, or all of a sudden, I'll go get some bun cake or go get some this, and I'm like, well, we weren't planning on that, and all of a sudden she's like, well, now I want it. So of course, that just makes it all crazier. But, you know, and as far as, you know, everybody leaving early, I mean, what am I supposed to just kick everybody out? You know, it's the holidays, everybody's having fun, you know, it's safer for them to stay anyways, you know, some people just want to stay over, of course, I'm not gonna just kick them out, and we have the room, and I'd rather have them, you know, sleep over and stay than not, and yes, sometimes, you know, we stay up talking, chit-chatting, having a good time, and it probably goes a little longer than expected, but, you know, we can always, I don't know, figure out a way to just kind of end it earlier if we need to. But, you know, I guess I see what, and then like with the kids, helping them out, I would love to help them. I've always helped them, but the girls always want her to fix their hair. They're always like, "Where's mommy? You know, where's, you know, have her do my hair, or have her work on my, you know, fix my clothes or whatever." It's like they don't even want me to help them out.
While
So
I'm doing that, you don't need to be sitting down.
There is no interrupting.
Sorry.
thank you. So, you know, those are kind of like my points, and you know, like I said, we've kind of gone like this for years, so I really don't understand what the problem is.
All right.
Or, you know, it's just haven't been able to figure it out.
All right, give me 1 minute.
Yes.
Okay. So, what I'm hearing you say is that the holidays are an enjoyable time for you and your family, and you value that time with your family. The family values that you were brought up with enable you to want to host the parties. Is that correct?
Yes, not so much the values, but yeah, we're a tight-knit family.
Okay. I'm also hearing that you feel there needs to be better preparation and organization for the parties, regarding like communication or last minute errands.
Yes, you know, if we could maybe, I don't know, work out the menu before or not, you know, make so many changes, you know, would, I think would make it less, you know, chaotic for her, and as she puts it, you know, she's out doing work when she could be enjoying the party.
Okay, so then you also feel your house best accommodates the family's needs, and as far as the for the not helping, you feel that there needs to be more, I guess, rules for, or task delegation for everyone.
Yes, because I feel I am helping, maybe not just in the things she's pointing out, but, you know, I'm obviously helping because the guests don't just come in and all of a sudden host themselves.
So again, just better communication between the two of you.
Correct.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add, or anything that did I say everything correctly?
No, yeah, I think we got everything I put it out.
Okay. So now that we've identified like the core interests and needs of both parties, we're gonna set an agenda. So since you went first with the opening statement, I'm going to let you pick the first item on the agenda.
Okay.
And you both have to agree, and then you also both have to agree on the order in which we talk about these things. So what would be,
Okay.
what's the first item that you would like on the agenda?
I guess I would say the fact that, you know, where else are we gonna have the party if not here, since we have, you know, the largest house and more room for everybody. So I would say the location or place of the events. I don't know how you wanna word that.
Okay. Yeah, I think location.
No, so if she doesn't wanna have it here, then where were we supposed to have it?
Okay, that's definitely a thing we can discuss. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. What would you like to put on the agenda?
I guess I would like more helping with cleaning before a party and after a party.
Okay, so preparation and delegation of tasks. Okay. Is that something you're comfortable with?
Yes, I agree with that.
Okay. All right. What else would you like to talk about?
How am I supposed to help out with the girls, the kids, if they don't, you know, they're just asking for her to help out or get them ready anyway. So I don't know what she expects me to do there. To force them to fix their hair.
Okay. So maybe family guidelines and.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good way of putting it.
All right. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
All right. Grace, you may continue.
Sleepovers. No more sleepovers, please.
Alright, so time management of parties?
Yes. I think that sounds right.
Are
What am
you,
I supposed to kick everybody out?
well, that's something we can discuss when we get to that issue, but are you
Fine.
okay with that being on the
Yes,
agenda?
I'm more than okay, yes.
It is now your turn to pick an item.
I had it and now I lost it. If we could figure out what it is that she wants to make or prepare so that we can, maybe get all the things that we need prior to the party and we're not running around like chickens with our head cut off the day of.
Okay,
Because I'm left to coordinate.
If she would just change her mind all the time and just stick to something.
okay, let's
she'd agree-
remember the guidelines, no interrupting, be respectful,
Okay.
okay.
So I believe I was talking, thank you very much, so just
So,
preparation planning.
okay, so maybe that can, so like just organization, maybe that can just go under the second item of preparation and delegation of tasks.
Yes, I guess that falls under the
Okay,
same thing.
I will just write organization right here. Alright, and Grace, any others?
All your nieces and nephews running around and making a mess.
Kids, what do you want me to do?
Alright, so
Being disrespectful to the house.
They're not
You're
disrespectful.
interrupting me.
Sorry.
supervision of the party in general, okay.
Want to hire security guards?
Is that alright with you to discuss?
Yes, that is alright with me.
Okay.
Thank you. Do you know any kid cops by any chance?
Alright. Any other items you would like to add on the agenda?
No, I guess that everything falls into, everything we've already talked about. So, I mean, we'll always have the party here. It's like a tradition. So, it would be, like, I don't want to just cancel and have everybody now change where, everyone's used to coming and having a good time. So, I don't know how you would word that at the time.
So maybe just, like, following precedent, sticking to what's been done before.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, why is that a problem now? Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Because now we have more kids.
Well, you wanted kids, so
Alright. Is there anything else you would like to add?
I'm sure she does.
More help with the coordinating of the menu.
Said that already.
Oh, I guess that's with the family organization.
I think that we
Okay.
can lump that into preparation, delegation, organization.
I think, did we cover more help during the day of the events?
I think we can, okay, so I can just make a side note under delegation to focus on the day of the event specifically. Is that alright with you?
Yes, that's alright with me.
Okay.
I think that covers just about everything.
Anything else for you?
No, thank you. That's everything I need.
Alright, well, there were a lot of emotions coming up when setting this agenda, so I think now would be a good time for a caucus.
Yes.
Ricardo, I will escort you out first.
Good.
And then,
Because I just can't stand being in front of it right now.
Feelings mutual.
Alright, Grace, how are you feeling after all of that?
I'm actually a little bit upset because I just can't believe that he feels that nothing should change and everything should stay the same, even though now I'm working longer hours. I have more guests because now the nieces and nephews have multiplied. And again, I'm just left to create this party and do the menu, do everything else without much of his help and much of his family's help. And they just come and enjoy the party and then leave the mess, and then I'm back to cleaning and cooking the next day, and just a continuous cycle. And then the parties, they start like in August and don't finish till January with all the, I have my daughter's birthday, then it comes with that, Halloween, and then after that it's Thanksgiving, and then after that, Christmas, and then, oh, wait, we do Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so it's 2 days in a row, and then after that, it's followed by New Year's. And meanwhile, I'm working and trying to do everything else, so
Alright, so,
just a little frustrated right now.
alright. So, what I'm hearing you say is you feel that there's no recognition for all the work that you do with the parties or just in general. All the preparation that goes into these parties, you feel no one takes into consideration. Is that correct?
Yes.
Alright. So right now, it seems that the two of you are just polar opposites on these issues. So I think it would be beneficial if just the two of us went down each of these things on the agenda, so I can get a sense of what you're looking for, and then maybe we can see some common ground that we can bring back to the group.
Okay.
So, as far as the location, I mean, do you want no holidays here, or do you want some holidays here?
I guess I can't say I want any holidays because I do want my kids to remember some days here with the family at their own house. They do enjoy being here and having their toys and play with their cousins, and I get it, but we can't have every single party here. It's exhausting.
Okay, so I think that relates to what Ricardo had said about it being a family tradition. I think that the both of you are just very concerned about making it enjoyable for the family. You said you want your kids to have good memories. He also wants his family to have good memories. So I think would you say that that's a point where you both agree on?
Yes, if he doesn't have overnight sleepovers
Okay.
and helps me clean the next day.
So you would be willing to have the parties here if Ricardo helps more and if there were less sleepovers.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
But he hasn't done that in years, so I doubt he'll even agree to any of that.
Well, that's what we're here for. We're trying to reach a mutual solution. So that's a nice segue into the second item on the agenda, which is preparation and delegation of tasks. So what exactly are you looking for in terms of help from him?
So I usually have to touch base with his whole family and see who wants what at the events. Obviously, there's different traditions from both sides of the family, and all the nieces and nephews, what they like to eat, allergies, etc. So I usually have to kind of coordinate menus with his entire family. Well, he has no clue what's going on till the last day or the night before. Meanwhile, I'm doing grocery shopping, preparations, getting all the tableware, whatever we need, decorations and whatnot. So
Okay, so what I think I'm hearing you say is you want more communication between him and his family. Maybe him taking a little bit more responsibility or initiative
yes,
with these things.
to help out. Yeah,
Okay.
this is his family, and he wants to have them have a good time, and I'm doing all the work. So.
Alright. So as long as he promises to, in some sort of way, like communicate with his family more, you would be willing to have holiday parties here?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so.
So Ricardo had also mentioned, he helps out in ways that he thinks are beneficial, but they're not necessarily, or he feels that they're not necessarily, they don't coincide with what you want from him. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, him sleeping in and not helping out with the kids do not help me at all.
Okay. So maybe an earlier wake up time and again just setting those like family guidelines, maybe communicating with your daughters is better as well to get the whole family on the same page.
Right.
So how do you think you could instill that or execute that on the day of the parties or even beforehand?
Well, let's see, how can I do that? Well, I guess like you said, set a time, a wake up time at least, so that I know I'm going to be helped at a decent time, not 5 minutes before guests come. Or wonder what time he's gonna wake up to help me. And the second thing with the kids, I think possibly maybe we can coordinate a couple days in advance what they're gonna wear. I don't know.
Okay.
They do get fussy on what they like. If they don't like jeans and other things, and I have to sometimes fight on what they're wearing. But
So what I'm hearing you say is maybe that's a separate issue that you both may need to focus on with your daughters. Okay, so I think that, would you say that ties into family guidelines, and maybe that's a possible solution you would be willing to bring up?
yeah, we can probably prepare in advance their outfits and coordinate.
Okay. So again, as long as all of these things are met, you'd be willing to host parties.
Some parties.
Some? Okay, so you're still,
I can't do all.
okay, so how, are you like all throughout the year or just holidays?
That's a good question. Let's focus on the holidays because that's my main concern. Just because it's from August through January,
Okay.
actually through February because my daughter's birthday's on February, so it kind of goes in. It runs all the way from August to February.
Okay, so within those months, which events or which holidays or like how many parties total would you be willing to host?
Let's say 2.
2? Okay. So wait. Sorry, August to February. And you're not willing to negotiate on that number? Like what's the highest amount of parties you'd be willing to?
Not right now because I'm really upset. He's just not helping, and I don't know if this will even work.
Okay.
But that's why we're hoping you can help us.
So the next item on the agenda would be time management of parties. Again, just reiterate what your issue is with that.
Basically the sleepovers. I know that number one, the parties last till pretty late. People are wondering why I'm exhausted at like midnight when I should still be happy and hosting. But by then I'm like, everybody get out. But a lot of people end up sleeping over. And then the next morning I'm miserably trying to entertain like once again and do breakfast and the rest of the cleanup. So my entire house gets destroyed, and then I have to, from everybody sleeping over, we have blankets everywhere and stuff, and it's just a mess.
Okay.
It
So
goes on too long.
alright. So I think what I'm hearing you say is kind of like the same thing as before. You would just rather have more communication between Ricardo and his family, setting like rules for the house to be followed, and making sure that adults and kids alike follow those rules to help make the parties more relaxable and enjoyable for all.
Yes, that's exactly what I.
Okay.
That's a great way to put it. Thank you.
What would some of these rules and guidelines be that you would like Ricardo to share with his family?
Maybe party needs to end by 2 in the morning. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's a start. It's like a set, concrete thing. One of your concerns was the mess of the house. What do you think you could put in place, or what could you say?
He needs to talk to his family and tell them that they need to keep an eye on the kids and respect the house.
All right, so supervision of parties. So I think we kind of lumped these two items on the agenda together: the time management of the party and the supervision of the party. So just to summarize that, you would be willing to host 2 parties between August and February because that's their busiest time for the family. You think there needs to be more communication with Ricardo and his family regarding house rules, how to supervise what they're doing and their children to make the holidays enjoyable for all, not just his family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so far, you would want the parties to end at 2 so as to avoid extended stays.
Correct.
All right. So the last item on the agenda is following precedent, which I think goes into the location before. So Ricardo's argument is that you've always had parties here, but he hasn't heard any concerns from you before. Can I ask why you think he feels that way?
Probably because I haven't complained as much as now, but it's because I'm just working longer hours and there's a bigger family now to entertain. So like I said, his nieces and nephews have like multiplied now, so it's a bigger parties and I'm working longer hours as well, so that's the concern.
So maybe there needs to be, what I think you're saying is there needs to be more communication between you and Ricardo. Maybe you expressing these things to him more often. Is
Yep.
that fair?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't told him much about this. I just keep getting upset.
Okay. Well, that's definitely one of the reasons why mediation is helpful, to get all these issues out and resolve them. So, would you be willing to make, like, how do you think you could resolve that issue? Like, what would you be happy with as far as being, like, him taking into consideration your long hours and all the work that goes into these parties?
I guess if I just had more help, I think overall it's just more help, more coordinating with the rest of the family as well. Just kind of what we reiterating the steps that you said or that we've come up with. Just keeping a little bit more set guidelines and rules, and since the family has grown, a little more participation from others. So
Okay. So yeah, I think what I'm hearing you say is your core issue is just you want more assistance with these parties, and if you got that assistance, you'd be more willing to host these parties.
yes,
All right.
exactly.
Is there anything that we talked about that you don't want me to mention as a group?
Could you not mention the 2 a.m. yet?
Sure.
I want to see what his concept of what time the party should end.
Okay. Is that the only thing you're uncomfortable with me bringing up?
Let's think about this. No, I think that's about it.
Okay. Then I will end our caucus and I will bring Ricardo back in.
Okay.
Okay. So let's break you up. Thank you. All right, Ricardo, welcome back to mediation.
Thank you. It's time to
How are you?
calm down.
How are you feeling?
Much better.
All right. So, again, there were just a lot of emotions coming up in setting the agenda. I noticed you expressed a lot of concerns, so I think it would be beneficial to touch base on each of the items that we have set so we can focus on what you think possible solutions are, and maybe we can bring them forward as a larger group.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So, as far as, first on the agenda is location. So as far as that, are you willing to have parties somewhere else, or do you want, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know where else we would have a party, so.
Okay. So maybe,
Are they just gonna fork over the cash for a hall or something, which, doesn't make any sense.
okay. So your concerns are financial reasons for having the parties here.
Yes.
Okay.
And again, accommodations.
Okay. If both of you did some research and found a cheaper location, would you be willing to have it there?
I guess, but the whole point of holiday party is to be, in someone's home and be with family and together, and I just don't see it being cheaper going anywhere else, and safety. So it's kind of hard to come up with an alternative for that one, I guess. Because just there's no other family member who has a house big enough to kind of accommodate for the holiday parties.
Right.
But I suppose we can squeeze into, my brother's house if we had to. I guess every once in a while.
Okay, so I'm hearing you say just maybe a possibility would be your brother's house.
Maybe, yes.
But your overall concern is still the safety of your family and the financial burden that would place.
Yes, and then everybody has room here again to sleep over, and it's just safer to stay, and just makes sense. I don't know.
Okay. Alright, so are you okay moving on to the second topic?
Yes.
Alright, so that would be preparation, the delegation of tasks of the organization. I remember you had expressed concern on you feel that you were doing your part, but maybe Grace wasn't looking at it that way. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yes. So, it's just, I understand she does, most of the preparation for the food and the cooking, but I mean, she's cooks. I don't cook, so she always wants to partake in the menu and choosing and picking of it. So I always then take care of, the other items and make sure we have enough drinks and sodas and ice and, all the heavy lifting and, the garbage bags and getting everybody, together and, coordinate the parking, who's going to sleep over and, all the things that she's just not noticing that, they don't just get taken care of by themselves. And then, last minute she's always, having to send me off to the store to buy, items that now all of a sudden she wants to incorporate that, and I get it, you gotta be flexible sometimes, but, something not so, like another, full course meal, last minute to try to go and accommodate.
Okay, so, again, what I'm hearing you say is you are just looking for more organization, and maybe more planning ahead of time instead of last minute additions.
Yes, absolutely.
And then so
she's just such a Scrooge sometimes, it's like, it's the holidays, hello, it's just, supposed to be jolly. Anyways, go ahead.
Insults are not helpful
Sorry.
to the mediation process.
Bah humbug. It's like,
All right. So going along with that, well, maybe again going on with just like more communication. I feel with your expression of concern of last minute errands, maybe like sticking to the plan. Is that fair?
Yes, she's just so indecisive sometimes.
Okay. So then, so better communication, and like whatever resolution or whatever plan you both make,
It was just
following to it. Okay.
Exactly. She's in finance. She should get it. Those structure is not a bad thing.
Structure is a good word, so you just want more. I think it's a better word. So just more
Exactly.
structure
Yes.
for the parties.
Absolutely.
All right. Second item, or third item would be the family. Well, hold on. Sorry. What would you be willing to put forth as far as this communication and like providing the structure for the plan or for the party?
Just talk about it and agree on, what the menu's going to look like, what she wants as decorations. I mean, I usually don't have pretty flexible that way. I really don't care what the food, items is. She's a good cook. We love her food. That's why we're still married. If it wasn't for that. But, the decorations and things that, where she's always buying extra stuff every year. She got to go buy a little something different, which is, I'm okay. And that's the other thing. I'm the one stuck putting up the 12-foot Christmas tree. Everybody says they're going to help out with the trees and putting the ornaments, but guess who's the one pulling out the ladder and putting all the ornaments up there and then going outside and putting up all the lights, and then, she needs like 10 feet more of lights, and then, well, they don't just go up by themselves. Anyway, sorry, we're not on a tangent there.
Sorry.
So.
Okay.
Yes, so where were we?
Alright, so what I'm hearing you say is...
Yes, the structure.
Okay.
So she just sticks to the menu, or at the very least, they have an idea of what we're going to get, then we can buy most of the stuff together, and we can go off of a checklist and say, hey, okay, this is what we grant, this is what we want to get, yes, okay, and then we can go out and buy most of the items that she needs, which would probably only help her out anyways, because she has everything that she's going to need to prepare for the meal.
So would you be willing to, how in your eyes would best execute like a more structured party? Like what exactly do you want from her? Like
I just tell her what to do and she does it. Right?
Well, that's not
I know that's not going to happen. But wouldn't that be a perfect world? So why don't we just then say, okay, it's time to plan out the party and the menu and have kind of like this an agenda of what we need to discuss and then agree on each item and then move on from there. Like I said, I think that would work fine since I don't usually have strong feelings about what the menu needs to be or things of that sort, right? I don't get that granular.
All right, so you would be willing to create your own agenda for the parties and then create like a party plan and a written document. Is that what you're looking for?
If we have to, yes. It takes the fun out of the holidays, but I would be willing to sacrifice my time and feelings for that.
Also, how far in advance do you want this to be done?
As much time as she needs to make up her mind on everything.
So you would, whatever you say, you would just be willing to defer that to her. So whenever
Yes.
she is ready to talk about it,
Just let me know and I will make time.
okay. Alright. And are you willing to help out in any way that she asks you to?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I think I already do enough, but obviously, you know, she doesn't feel the same way. So if there's something specifically or in particular that she wants or needs help with, we can talk about it, and then, you know, if it's reasonable, we can certainly come to an agreement that way.
So just more specific task delegation, so you know exactly what you have to do.
Exactly. So he doesn't help, right? Because then I don't know what I'm not helping out.
Okay, so you just want more specifics and like concrete tasks.
Correct.
Okay. Alright. Next item was family guidelines. So I believe this was under the topic of, you know, the cleanliness of the house, supervision of the children.
Yes.
So how do you feel about that?
I don't know what I could do there. I mean, they're kids, right? Just let them have fun. That's what all the holidays about. I suppose I could, you know, talk to my brothers and sisters and maybe mention something about, you know, watching the kids, or I don't know how I would word it so it wouldn't sound insulting or negative, or I don't know, you know, because we never had to deal with that or have this conversation. So maybe that's something you could.
I don't know if it's so funny.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, I can edit that out. It's fine.
Maybe that's something that you could help us put into words.
Okay. So
Just
more communication, or you'd be willing to put forth more communication with your family on rules for the house. Is that
yes.
correct? Okay.
Yes, if that's what it's going to take to, you know, move past this, I could talk to, you know, them, and so I can't make any promises, right? That, you know, the kids are going to be well behaved now, but at least, you know, I could do something to try to help out with that.
What about family participation, like more involvement from your side?
Well, we're the ones throwing the party, right? I mean, what am I going to do? Invite everybody and then tell them to come and decorate and cook for it? It's, you know, I'm already telling them to kind of, you know, watch the kids or whatever. Again, it would help if I had specifics, if I knew exactly what that meant. Then maybe we can figure out what to do.
Right. So what I hear you say is you feel it's just your role as a host to handle everything, but if you had specific tasks, you would be willing to maybe delegate some of those.
Yes,
to
if
your
they're
family?
reasonable, absolutely, yes.
All right. Okay. So, time management of parties. So the length of the parties. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a party. Let's just let us have fun. I'm not gonna kick anybody out. Then I'd rather just not have the party here if I'm gonna have to do that. When it's not safe, I'd rather have everybody here. Two, the next morning we all get up, we have breakfast, right? We're still kind of, chit-chatting and talking about the night before. The kids, everybody's got to try to lug the kids off at, past midnight. It's just not, I don't know, conducive. And we have the space. So maybe instead of, maybe we can just try to cut off at a certain time, I guess, instead of, just not having people sleep over.
Alright, so
Does that make sense?
yes.
What would be a reasonable time?
Yeah, what's
5 a.m., It's like, let's party. No.
That's the earliest you're willing to cut the party short?
Well, it's like by the 10-minute calls, everybody's, say Merry Christmas or Happy New Year, everybody's start talking, having a good time, we're dancing. I don't know, it's hard to put a time on that when, I guess it would be like case by case, but I guess a reasonable time would be more like, I don't know, when the bars close, 2 or 3 a.m.
Okay.
It's just that you don't know my brother. You don't understand my brothers and my sisters, and it's just the way they party.
Okay, so just to summarize what we have so far, you feel that the parties should be here because it's just financially more feasible, more responsible,
Yes.
or easier. Also, the safety aspect of of your family. That also translating to the length of the party. You're concerned about their safety going home late.
Correct.
All right. Also, the time management. You feel that parties are just an enjoyable experience, so it's hard to place a time cap.
Right. How do you,
Okay.
It's like putting a price on fun. How do you do that?
You're looking for better communication between you and Grace, more specific delegation of tasks. You want a written or just a spoken word agreement on the menu, the plan for the party, and then as early as Grace is willing to talk about those things, or as soon as she comes up with certain things. And then for more help, you are willing to do more of what Grace asked, as well as having those specifics delegate those tasks to your family.
Yes. Well, yes. I think I could, if we had some kind of plan before and we knew what to get more prepared, it would help, on the stress level. And, I'm not going to ask my family to just, help clean up after the party, but I will be willing to, help out more and maybe, figure out a way to not leave such a mess before everybody leaves.
Okay. So next item on the agenda was the supervision of party, but would you agree that we kind of touched on that with you communicating to your family
Yes.
set guidelines? Is there anything else you have to say about the supervision of the party or the house?
No, like I said, I'm not making any promises, but I can talk to my family about, watching their kids.
Okay. And then the last item on the agenda was following precedent. So again, just you would rather stick to what has already been done in the past, or
at least not change your mind last minute, right? It's all about the timing of it with me on that one. It's not that you just can't change your mind. It's just not last minute when stores are empty, everybody's trying to shop last minute, and I'm out there in 3 feet of snow. Then I got to shovel out the driveway, right? That's the other thing nobody sees, right? Snow just doesn't melt, So I got to go out there and shovel it and get everybody in and out and get the trucks out so that we can go buy all this stuff that we need for the holidays.
So what I'm hearing you say is now you feel that there's no recognition for
No respect.
for things that you do before the party as
Right.
well. And as far as following precedent, what would you consider a cutoff for when a change can be made to the plan that you guys have come up with?
I don't know. 3 to 5 days, I guess. You know, it's no sooner than 3, but you know, the more notice, the better.
Alright.
Or yeah.
And so let's say Grace did have a last minute addition. Is that like an automatic no go? Like,
Well, it depends on the severity of the change, right? If it's
Okay.
a minor change, okay, but you know, we're trying to change the menu, or it's sending me to go get something that she forgot, some special cheese that I got to go down to the city for now in snowstorm, right? It's just not conducive.
so to summarize those. The length of the party to avoid an extended period of stay, you would be willing to, depending on the holiday, cut it off at 2 to 3 in the morning.
Or sooner, right? I mean, like I said, I don't want to just
Okay.
tell everybody, all right, it's 2 o'clock, everybody's got to go to sleep now. I mean, you know, we're not
Or do you mean later?
adolescents.
Or
I'm sorry, what?
do you mean later?
Like, I'm not, like, I don't want to say 2 o'clock is the cutoff because, you know, we might be having fun.
Okay, so yeah, so you would.
Right.
So just as like maybe not like a strict enforcement, but maybe like a general.
Yeah, maybe we can see that day and see how everybody is, and then that day we could be like, hey, you know, if we could just say, all right, another hour or two, and then it's off, you know, that would work out better instead of just saying, because then we're spending all night just saying, all right, 2 o'clock, the party's going to be over. Kind of takes the fun out of.
Okay. So again, just your concern is just want it to be enjoyable and accommodating to everyone.
Right. Maybe during the party we can say, hey, you know, as things start winding down or something, you're gonna be like, all right, you know, just a couple more hours, and then we're gonna call it quits, and then kind of like a last call, you know,
Okay.
and just be like, all right, last call is gonna be in 2 hours or hour and a half, or you know, not make it that formal of an announcement. But then I think that would help. Kind of everybody start winding down, and then say, all right, cool, you know, we had fun, as opposed to just be like, all right, 2 o'clock, you know, this party's over. It's not like we're a business here.
All right. So, is there anything else you want to talk about or add? Do you feel we hit everything on the agenda?
Yes, I believe we hit everything that I had brought up. Thank you.
Okay. Are you comfortable? What are you comfortable bringing back as a joint session? All of it, none of it, parts of it?
What did she say?
Our caucus is separate from my caucus with Grace.
Okay.
Therefore, what you choose, what you just said to me is completely confidential. So it's completely up to you what you are willing to share.
Well, we're here to try to resolve this, so in good faith, I don't think I said anything that I wouldn't want heard after here.
Okay. So you're willing to bring it all back?
Yes.
All right. In that case, I will go get Grace, and we can hopefully make some resolutions.
Thank you very much.
I forgot something.
Of course you did.
Stop the thing.
Nope, just keep going. It's part of it.
No.
See what I got to deal with?
Stop the
You understand?
thing.
Sorry about that.
No, it's gonna be hard to edit. and
No,
stuff.
that's part
No.
of it. It's like realistic.
It's gonna be so hard to edit. Alright, Grace, welcome back to mediation. Thanks. Alright. So, everyone feeling good after their caucuses?
Yes.
Alright.
Yes.
So, first item on the agenda was the location of the party. Since you went first with the caucus, I'm going to let Ricardo start with how he feels about the location.
Well, as I was saying before, I don't know that there's an alternative for where to have the party since we have the most room and everyone's the most comfortable. I suppose we can maybe squeeze a party or two here or there at my brother's house, but you know how tight it is over there with everybody. But if that's going to help the situation, I suppose I can consider it.
How do you feel about that?
When you say squeeze a party or two,
Oh.
what does that mean? Because I am supplying a party from like August through like February. So
Like once every other year for like Christmas or something.
absolutely not.
Jeez.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Well, where else do you want to have the parties then? Help
I
me
don't
out
know.
here.
Maybe everybody can pitch in towards a location.
I guess we can, but that's like something you got to plan for. You can't just spring it up on people and be like, "Oh, you know, we should get a hall for, you know, the party that we've already committed to doing."
Why do I have to be like accommodating? I'm the one that's working hard to keep and maintain this house as well,
And I understand, and I help you too.
I
So
want to keep it nice.
why don't we, for this year, since we've already committed to it and everybody's coming, have the parties here this year, and then next year when we have more time, we can talk about an alternative location, and then potentially, yeah, maybe everybody could pitch in, and we can afford, you know, to have it somewhere else. I don't know that.
No, I've talked to Mrs. Miranda and I've asked her to do this because I don't want to do this anymore. I want to have this because I am done with the parties at my house. I want to just limit it to a few a year, and that starts with this year.
Well, so what do you suggest that we do? Because obviously we're not coming to an agreement here.
All right. So, well, how many parties are you willing to have here this year?
2,
Which holidays?
Christmas Eve and let's say New Year's.
How do you feel about that?
Well, so what are we gonna do for Thanksgiving then? I guess. What are we gonna tell people? Are we just then not gonna host it, so we're not gonna celebrate it at all?
We can have it at your family's house. One of them can host it. And Halloween as well. How about Christmas and just my daughter's birthday?
Well, what happened to Christmas and New Year's now? See,
I'm
now you're
kind of
going back.
I'm kind of, yeah.
Ah,
I'm thinking maybe New Year's is too much.
can't understand it.
I think what Ricardo's trying to say is that going back to his concern about following precedent in the plan, the rest of the family has already planned on coming here. It might cause more. It might be more work on your part to try and organize a whole new plan. Is that fair?
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think his family. Maybe you can coordinate a little more with your family and continue to have them this year, but I really prefer if you could talk to your family and not have it all this year.
Fair enough. Why don't I will say that I will bring up the option to them of an alternative. If we can come up with an agreement or somewhere, then we can accommodate and go that route. But if we can't, then at least I still know that I can have the option of like, well, couldn't make it for this year, let's go ahead and still have the parties, we'll host it, and then, but let's make sure that for next year we have a different plan so we're not hosting all the parties.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like I'm still going to get stuck hosting all the parties.
Well, so what I'm hearing Ricardo say is that he's willing to try and change the plan for this year. He is willing to talk to his family and try to find a new location or another family member's house for this year. But in the case that it doesn't work out, he would still like to have the comfort or like the backup plan of hosting the parties here. Is that fair?
Yes.
I think that's fair.
So do we have an agreement?
Yes, we have an agreement from my side.
What about you?
It's hard to agree to this, but
Okay, so I mean we can work out the details. So, how soon do you want him to talk to his family?
nah.
Would you like to make a phone call while we're in mediation? She's only charging us $1,000, 3 sessions.
Yeah, this is, yeah. Well, if we can afford this, we could definitely afford a location.
Financials is a different topic. Focusing back on what the agreement that we just came to, which was
Okay. Yes.
You know.
Stick to the topic at hand, please.
that was very respectful. Good. And it is very, again, the fact that you both are here and just came to an agreement on your own shows that you can find resolutions. So I think we should continue that trend. So again, focusing on the agreement that was just made about the location, how soon, in a realistic time frame, would you like him to talk to his family?
So what's the next party that we're hosting? Thanksgiving.
Correct.
So
It's the 15th. So I doubt that we'll be able to make it. But I can call them this week and see what we can do for the rest of the holidays going forward.
so that would mean Christmas, New Year's.
Correct.
Okay. Wait, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's. Just don't forget they all.
Yes.
Okay. So we have an agreement right now that Thanksgiving will still be held at your house,
Yes.
but for the parties in December, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve, Ricardo will talk to his family and try to find an alternative location. And then the caveat, I guess, is if there is no alternative for this year, the parties will still be held here.
How
I
do I
agree
know?
with that statement.
Wait, how do I know you're gonna make a good effort
Would you like to be present?
during the conversations with his family?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So it's a joint conversation with your family, happening what date by the end of this week?
That changes the dynamics of everything now, because how do I know what she's going to say, what her tone is going to be of during the conversation?
Well, she just, from what I gathered, you had just said you wanted to be present.
Yes.
So would you,
So you're going to keep your mouth shut there, is that what you're saying?
was that helpful?
So you're not going to have any input during any, let me do all the talking? And then we can always come back in private and discuss what happened or something, but I don't want a scene with my family.
Fair enough.
Okay. So, Thanksgiving, here at your house.
Correct.
And then Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve will be discussed to try to find a new location. Again, what day is this happening?
Friday afternoon.
Okay.
We're all going to get together, and so it would be a good time for me to bring it up.
That's right. We have your birthday in between all this, and your brother's birthday, and your mother's birthday, and your daughter's birthday. So yeah.
Back to party.
Alright, so then, again, Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Thanksgiving for our household.
Correct.
And then Friday afternoon, discussion for alternatives, where Grace will remain silent to ensure that Ricardo is putting forth enough effort.
Correct.
Alright, and then in the event that no alternative can be found for this year, parties will remain here, but going forward for future parties, this will be a regular conversation with your family.
Yes.
Agreed?
Yes.
Alright. Well, first agreement made on
Very nice.
the agenda. Are you both comfortable moving on?
Whew. Yes, I am. Thank you.
Alright.
Feel better already.
So, The second item on the agenda is the preparation and delegation of tasks and more broadly the organization. So since you went first last time, Grace, you can begin with this topic.
The preparation of organization of tasks.
Yes.
So,
Excuse me, I need to go. Thank you.
So, again, on the topic of preparation and delegation of tasks, organization, what are you looking for here?
I am looking for more help. Meaning, cleanup duties. I guess it shouldn't all just fall on me. And prior to the parties, I just want to, have more help coordinating the menu with the family instead of me trying to coordinate with the entire family and on my own.
All right.
I
So,
think that sums it up.
all right. What are your thoughts?
I think what I had said on that topic was if we can discuss it before, with reasonable amount of time and have a plan, I think it would help relieve some of the chaos and stress that comes along with trying to do everything last minute.
All right. So, I think you're both agreeing on just more structure overall, and again, so you have specific tasks in mind, and you had said that you wanted those specific tasks.
Correct.
So, would you be comfortable developing a plan ahead of time, giving Ricardo exactly what he needs to do?
Yeah, but why do I have to tell him, take
Because
out the
I
garbage?
obviously don't know what it is that
Pick
you're
up
referring to.
Your socks.
Nor do you see all of the items that I take care of, like shoveling the snow and hosting the party and all of those unknowns that you don't seem to take into consideration. So the only solution I can come up with is if you then just tell me what it is you need me to help you with, and then we can agree on it and work it out.
So what I'm hearing you say is, so your concern was like you feel it's tedious to like list every single task, but you're okay with just having a broad plan. So if Grace had said, make sure the living room is clean, was that specific enough for you?
Yes, I know how to clean up the living room.
Are you okay with that? Or is that still... I think that's okay. I just didn't want to list out, pick up a plate, tie your shoe, things like that. So,
Okay.
list of tasks.
All right. What I'm hearing though is an agreement on a list.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
One of your concerns was both of your concerns with more structure and planning, and you had said like the day of there was lack of help, and you had said the day of there was last minute additions. So how soon or how far in advance will this list be made to satisfy both of you?
Yes. How much time do you need?
How much time do you need?
As much time as you need to tell me what to do so that I can have time to do it.
How much advance time do you need to know what time to wake up so you can help me?
Wow. See, she's impossible.
There are no insults.
Sorry.
Say it like you mean it.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Why don't we say then 3 to 5 days?
I work.
And as do I.
So maybe 7 days?
7 days is even better for me. I was trying to give you more time closer, but yes, if it was up to me, it'd be a month. So 7 days would be great.
At least that gives me a weekend in advance.
Alright. So the agreement that I'm hearing is a list will be made by Grace a week in advance,
Minimum.
minimum. Is that okay?
No. It's not okay. I want the list to be made by us, not just me. I'm adding another task to myself. I don't think that's fair.
Okay. Would you be willing to sit down with her and write the list?
Yes, I would.
Okay. So, a list will be made 7 days in advance, minimum, by both of you
Yes.
regarding being as detailed as possible about the plan for the party.
Yes.
Yes.
I will bring instructions for you on how to make this.
Fair? Fair.
Yes.
All right. So, 7-day minimum of joint list. All right.
Sounds good.
Issue number 3. Sorry.
That's okay.
Would be family guidelines. So, you had just gone, right? It's your turn.
Okay. Is this regarding like the kids? Is this the point?
Yes.
Okay.
This is
Well, what I was telling
Miranda.
Mrs. Miranda here, was that I can't make any promises on how kids are going to behave, but I could potentially, again, since I'm already talking to my family about setting rules of engagement for a party, I suppose I could give them the rules of war when it comes to the kids and, make this something where at least you can say the attempt was made so that we could talk to the kids about, their behavior. But I can't make any promises that they're not going to just be kids and, run around and have fun, God forbid.
So, Ricardo has proposed talking to his family along with the location, giving them set guidelines and rules. Are you okay with that?
Kind of. I kind of want to make sure that the kids are not just throwing stuff out of the drawers and out of the closets and things like that.
They're baby kids.
They're specifics. Yes, I come back upstairs after trying to take some stuff downstairs, and the next thing you know, I know that half my bathroom cabinet is emptied out into the hallways. That's pretty bad. So, I need your help in trying to tell everybody that's just not very welcome here.
Well, like I said, I'll do my best and I will have the conversation. I can't make any promises.
Are you both willing to follow the same guidelines or we had set for the location conversation? Would you like to be present when he discusses this with his family?
About the guidelines?
Yes.
Sure.
Is that all right with you?
Yeah, it's the same concept. They're applying the same strategy as the other one, so I don't see why we can't do it to this. I agree.
All right. So as long as Grace is present but is silent during the actual conversation, you are willing to talk to your family about rules and guidelines, and then if a problem arises, to convene separately, as we did with the location.
I agree to those terms.
All right. I think we should also set the specific guidelines to address the concerns of cleanliness of the house and supervision. So.
Okay. So I will tell them to tell the kids not to empty out any of the cabinets, not to put her panties on her head and run around the house like they used to, and not to climb on the trees and pretend like they're Tarzan.
Does that satisfy you, Grace?
Really? I guess that would satisfy me. As long as you can tell them not to do certain things that they've done in the past, like leave cake in between
Like I said,
couches.
what they've done in the past, I will tell them not to do those things anymore.
But you're mentioning things that have never happened, so that's just not right.
Okay, so as long as the statements made by Ricardo are truthful to past experiences, you are okay with the conversation. Okay. So, just to be clear, so we have the same rules, a conversation, Grace will be present but silent while you talk to your family, and you will specifically talk about supervision and cleanliness by ensuring that what happened in the past will not happen in the future.
Correct.
All right.
I agree to those terms.
Alrighty then. Well, I think that is all we have time for today. So, for the last 3 items on the agenda, I know we had a caucus, but if you guys want to come back with a sheet of paper with some bullet points on what you would like to say on time management, supervision, would you agree that the supervision of the party was just covered in that topic?
Yes, I think it has. Once we get our guidelines together.
Okay, and then would you say that...
Wait, you're not going to ask me if I thought it was...
Sorry, I'm sorry. Do you agree that that was covered?
Yes, I do.
Alright.
See what I have to deal with.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that, maybe it was something I need to say. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so, and then the last item on the agenda was following precedent, sticking to a plan to avoid last minute changes. Would you both of you say that was covered with the making of the list 7 days in advance?
Yes, I would.
Yes, I hope so.
Okay. Then all that's left on the agenda is the time management of the parties, how long the parties will last. So if next time you just want to come in with bullet points on that, possible resolutions, give your worst case scenario, best case scenario, for a time that everyone has to leave or stay, and then we should be good.
Okay, well, thank you very, very much for your service and your help. I think we've accomplished a lot here, and very happy with the proceedings. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. I think we do have a little bit of work to do still, but I think at least we have agreed on a few things, and I hope that this will make gatherings more enjoyable.
Yes, now we have a party to go get ready for. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I'm glad you guys both were able to come up with some resolutions. I will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.